going? Can you hear me,
Hi,
mate?
Danny. Sorry about that. We'll try that again, mate. Look,
That's all right.
Tremendous. I mean, we've got a little bit of distance between us, I suppose, haven't we?
We have a bit, yeah. There's a bit of land and sea between us both, I suppose.
Just a bit. Mate, congratulations on your new album, From the Very Depths. It's terrific work.
Oh, cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
You joined Venom in 2009. Were you a fan of the band prior to joining?
I was obviously aware of them. Heard about Venom, crikey, in the 80s growing up with some of the rock magazines and metal, Hello?
Hello, mate. We'll try it again, shall we?
Hey, mate, bloody hell, I think we might be better off with smoke signals or some bloody pigeons or something. Back again, mate.
We could be at this stage. Sorry about that. I do apologise. I think we've got it sorted now.
It's all right, mate. It's totally okay. Yeah, I hope so. It's fucking crazy.
Indeed.
No problem, mate.
How did joining Venom come about for you?
It came about by... I've been playing with Tony Martin, who used to sing with Black Sabbath.
Yes.
I started with Tony maybe about 10 years ago. And I was playing somewhere in Germany at a festival. And I just got chatting to some guy that was working at the festival, I think doing lights or something. And we were just chatting about different things. And then sort of fast forward to about 6 months later, Venom was playing at a festival, and this same guy was working at the festival Venom was playing at. Right. And the guitarist told me that he was chatting to the same kid, saying, which band have you been working with, and he reeled off a list of names, and one of them being Tony Martin, and Rage, the guitarist, is a big fan of Tony's. He loves Sabbath. He said, like, fucking hell, Tony Martin. Crikey, I didn't know he was still going. What was his band like? And he explained about his band, and he said, actually, I was talking to the drummer. He lives in Newcastle. That's where, Venom are from. So his ears pricked up and went, really? Fucking hell, who is this kid? And he went, I don't know. His name was Danny. I don't know anything more about him. So that was as far as it went. And then when the previous drummer, Kronos' brother, left the band for, when he decided to leave, they came sort of trying to track me down to see who I was and, who this guy was who was working with Tony Martin.
Sure.
Anyway, they found me. At the time, I had a MySpace page, and so anyway, I got invited down to an audition, and anyway, I got the audition. I went down and did the thing, and they offered me the gig. So it was, it was just by chance, by a guy talking to the guys in the band. Yeah. 6 months later, after I'd met him in a place in a festival in Germany. So yeah, it's just one of those by chance strange fucking meetings, really.
But thank you for that, Danny. That makes a lot of sense. I realise there are other experienced drummers contacted as well, but I think they had you in mind all along, really.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I think they did try. They tried about, I reckon, 4, 5, 6 of the drummers, I think. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think a few things kind of clicked. One being, we all live very close proximity, so we can all get together. We were only together last night, Yeah, we get together every week, We all live within a probably 20, 30 mile radius, so we can, we can get together. We've got our own sort of recording place and rehearsal place, so we get together at least once a week, to run through all sorts of stuff, ideas for new, gigs coming in and festivals, the set list, and we're constantly, writing new material. So yeah, it works out great. Really
brilliant. And the South American tour in December of 2009, the year you joined, saw massive support for the band. It must have been great to be so widely and immediately accepted by fans.
It was fucking crazy, to be honest, run. I'd been over to Brazil twice before this with Tony, and they were really good gigs, but compared to the Venom gigs, they were absolutely fucking hell. It was chalk and cheese. It was a massive, big deal. I was blown away by, these. I think Venom had been to Brazil before, and a few other South American countries. I know that for definite they'd never been to Mexico, which was my first gig. They'd never been to Colombia or Chile. I don't think they'd been to Argentina either. But it was just immense. Even from getting off the aeroplane, I mean, fucking hell, we had this guy, this big, huge, mean motherfucker who was a security guard, and he said, right, I'm going to go and have a look through, arrivals and just check it out. And I was thinking, okay, why is he going to do that? A bit naive of me to think. Anyway, he came back and his face was like, fucking hell. It was like, I said to him, what? He says, we're not getting out there, not yet. We're going to have to get some security or some police. So I was like, why? What the fuck's going on? He said, well, there's about 300 kids out there screaming, chanting Venom, Venom. And there they were. We walked through. It was like fucking Beatlemania. It was incredible. Yeah.
Oh,
so that was my first. I was like, woohoo! Yeah. It was amazing, absolutely incredible. There were kids chasing the vehicle we got picked up in. Fucking, there were cars, we looked behind the van and there was fucking cars. They were being waiting for ages, all day. When we got to the hotel, there were kids camped out. I think the staff at the hotel didn't know what they hit, and they've never had anything like this. And this was my first gig, so obviously nearly 6 years I've been in the band now. So it's that was a really fantastic memory. Those first gigs we did in South America, they were fucking awesome. I mean, if you still, it was just before Christmas, I clicked on some YouTube footage to just have a little look, to see. Yeah. And fucking hell, man, the crowds were mental. They were going crazy. They're absolute mad. Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing place to go. I mean, I love every gig I ever do. I always have. I just love playing drums. But there's something about that place. They're just so rabid. It's unbelievable.
Good God, what a tremendous story. And so the journey began. And, of course, 2010 was an extremely busy year for the band, including production of Fallen Angels. Mm-hmm. It ostensibly seemed like a rebirth of Venom when you joined. Would that be a fair statement? Well, yeah, I think what had happened, obviously if you look back from, start to where we are now, the original three got back together in the mid-90s, it was, did the album, and, it sort of slowly fell apart, and then one member left, and, Kronos and Mantis carried on, and then, through the 2000, they had another guitarist again, and then, obviously, when Rage joined, he's been in now, I think, for, it must be 9 years or something, going on for 10, it's got to be. Yeah. And then so like I say, I've been in for 6. So yeah, I mean it's a very solid. Fucking hell, it's great. I think somebody pointed out to me just before we did this album and said, if you three record this next record, you will be the only lineup apart from the original 3 to do 2 consecutive albums. Wow, I didn't realise that.
And I was like, fucking hell, yeah, you're right. Yes, that's right. So we're the only, apart from Samantha Snavidon, where as we're on now, we're the only other lineup to do that. So, yeah.
Indeed, that's
so
brilliant.
As time goes on, we'll get a third under our belt, and then a fourth, and I think, we're going nowhere.
it's great, you know. We absolutely love what we do, and that's why we do it, you know. I think it shows. We're not one of these nostalgia acts that just plays only old songs and, you know, don't bother with albums and just... No, we really love creating, love making new music. And
that's,
you know, our fans are so...
I'm sorry, mate, about the short delay
in the new album.
Yeah, the new album just demonstrates.
It's all right, mate. Yeah, it's weird. It's about a 5-second delay, isn't it?
It is too. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Oh dear. Look, we can continue. We continue to enjoy the almost satirical, satanic references. But since joining the band, have you personally run into criticism from people who take it seriously?
I personally haven't. No.
Oh,
I
that's
haven't.
good.
So that is good.
Indeed. The references remain, but I
think I'd just point them in Kronos' way and say, go and see him. He'll sort you out. You know. Yeah, that's what you mean. Go and see him. Go and sort. And I'm sure he'll sort you out. But yeah,
beautifully put. Of course, the references remain, but this album, you really mean business.
Oh, nice one. Thanks, mate. Cheers, man.
Pleasure indeed.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, go on.
It's like, you know, this album is very much like the way we did the last one. You know, you put your absolute all into what you do, and then you think, fucking hell, great, you know, it comes out. And then it's time to do another, and there is I must admit, there was a part of me thinking, fucking hell, how are we going to sort of follow that, you know, because I loved Fallen Angels. It was fucking awesome album.
Yeah.
But, you know, we straight back onto it. We didn't, even before Fallen Angels comes out, we're still fucking about making new songs. And even now, we've probably got a few songs already for the next album.
Oh, brilliant.
I think I laid my drums down in the summer of last year, of 2014. Yeah. So, you know, it's been, 8-9 months since I recorded my part for From the Very Depths. Closely followed by the other lads, you know, Kronos and Rage did their parts in the same month or two. Yeah. And then it gets obviously sent off to the label, and they have to do their things to get it out there. You know, it gets mixed and mastered, and we go down to London, and we've got our people down there that look after that sort of thing. And then it's, you know, get the artwork and everything together. So it's quite, sometimes from recording your part to it actually going into the shop, I think it was about 6 months. So in that 6 month period, obviously, you know, you're busy with things, but there's still time. We've been writing stuff for the next album. So, you know, we're always looking ahead and, you know, planning, and we're already putting new set. Last night, we got together last night, we were putting new set ideas for this German fest we're doing in May. We're doing one in May, Rock Hard Festival.
Oh, yes.
Which is, I think it's one of the longest running festivals in Germany, so that should be cool.
That should be very good.
I think the Rock Hard magazine in Germany, which is, they run it, so that'll be good. So we're doing a bit of a big, you know, surprise set, I think, for that. We're doing a lot of songs we don't usually do, so.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, we shall see you now.
All good. So
tracks like Stigmata Satanas and Long-Haired Punks really highlight your technical skill and diversity as a drummer. I've got to ask, you're such a fast and furious drummer, but still so skilled with the slow stuff. Your experience dates back to the 80s. When did you start on the drums?
I got my first drum kit when I was 11, but I was actually playing on pots and pans and biscuit tins and shit like that from when I was knee-high to a grasshopper, really. Even my grandma, God rest her soul, she remembers, she told me, she said, hey, you know, I remember when you walked into our house, you crawled. It was before I was walking. She says you crawled in your hands and knees. And well, in England, I don't know if you had these in Australia, Rowan, but between our cook in the old-fashioned sort of 70s, early 80s kitchens, you had like two horrible plastic like tubes that would pull out from the side of the cooker, and they were kind of just to rest your tea towels on or your oven gloves or something like that. There were probably two metal prongs with like plastic tubes, and you pull them out. Anyway, I wrenched them up. They weren't supposed to come off, but I pulled them off. And she says, this is my grandma speaking. She says, and you crawled on your hands and knees into the sitting room, and your granddad was sitting there thinking, what the bloody hell is he doing? You know. And I pulled his foot puffy thing and just started beating the shit out of it and started drumming on it. So I suppose that was the first, like fucking caveman or something, like a little baby caveman. But yeah, that was. But all through, I remember fucking hell pestering my mum and dad for years and years to get me a drum kit, and they did, you know.
Yeah.
My mum and dad were always behind me. You know, they never ever said, you know, no, stop playing. You know, stop that fucking awful noise. They never. My dad used to drive me to rehearsals, take me, you know, wait outside places for hours and hours while we were making fucking awful din when we were kids. But yeah, so that was amazing. But it was basically started with biscuit tins, pots and pans. Then I got a couple of little drums, and I got a drum kit when I was 11. And joined my first band when I was sort of almost immediate, 11, 12, really. And that's it. Just been in bands ever since.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Thanks for that insight. I guess the big question moving along is, can we expect an Australian tour?
Sorry, just say that again.
I guess the big question is, can we expect an Australian tour?
I would, do you know, mate, I would absolutely love to come over there. I'd fucking love to come over and play. I know that there's been one or two offers whilst I've been in the band, and it's just not worked out for some reason or another. Yeah. But I would absolutely love to come over there.
And we
do you think we'd do all right over there?
With the following you have here, I have absolutely no doubt. Just the people I've spoken to when I've put the word out that I'm going to have a chat with you that are interested in you personally, as well as Venom, I think it'd be massive. It'd be huge.
Fucking hell. Oh, well, I'll speak to Kronos and the lads tomorrow, obviously, and we'll be getting together in the next few days anyway to have make a bit more racket. But yeah, I'll certainly. Yeah, we would absolutely love to go there. I've never been. I mean, my brother's been on holiday, you know, and I know Kronos went there to travel. He's never been. He's never played, but over there. But we would love to go.
Mate, we would love to see you here too, rest assured, but that's said by somebody who doesn't have to pay the bills.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not like hopping on a little plane to Germany. You know, it's a long flight. There's a lot of costs involved. So obviously it's got to be financially worthwhile, and you know, the venues. It's got to work. It's all got to work. You know, but Rowan, I'd love to come over. I know. I'm speaking for the lads as well. You know, we would love to come over.
It'd be tremendous. And look, Danny, we're out of time. I could sit and chat with you all day. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome, Ron. It's been a pleasure to speak to you, mate.
Thank you very much indeed. And I'll fingers crossed that we might meet up in Australia soon.
Mate, I'd love that. If we do, you make sure you come and find us and we'll have a few beers, mate.
That sounds great. Thanks very much indeed, Danny.
All right, cheers. Cheers, Rowan. Thanks very much,
mate.
pal. See you later, mate. Good night, mate. I think it's like it's 11 o'clock at night here. What time is it there?
It's about 5 to 10 in the morning.
5 to 10 in the morning. What day? Is that Thursday, Friday, or Wednesday?
We're on the Thursday.
So Thursday morning. Fucking hell! It's Thursday night now, so we're quite a bit ahead of you. We're about 13 hours ahead.
Indeed, yeah.
All right then, mate.
Terrific,
wow.
mate.
Okay,
Take care.
Well, thanks very much, and you take care. Cheers,
Thank
Ron.
you, mate.
Bye,
You
mate.
too. Bye-bye.